Okay?
Mr. Doctor, those couple of weeks, how seriously is the United States considering deploying ground troops? And in those couple of weeks, what exactly will...
We have objectives. I told you what those objectives are, and we are very confident that we are on the verge of achieving them very, very soon.
After Marco Rubio ducked the Iran invasion question, Washington's secret battle plans suddenly spilled into the open. As US Marines arrive in the Middle East, American media blows the lid off Trump's alleged invasion blueprint. With 3,500 Marines now in theater, critics warn the leaked invasion operation has painted a giant target on their backs. After Iranian forces cripple 6 US tactical vehicles, is the USS Tripoli the next prize in Tehran's crosshairs? Trump's gamble to reopen the Strait of Hormuz with boots on the ground, decisive masterstroke, or a spectacular failure? Amid soaring tensions with Tehran, US media revealed that the Pentagon has been quietly preparing a potential ground operation against key Iranian sites. According to these reports, the contingency plans include targeted raids on Kharg Island and multiple locations near the strategically critical Strait of Hormuz, a choke point for global oil shipments. However, the Washington Post says that President Donald Trump has not yet signed off on any full deployment, keeping the operation in a planning-only phase for now. Officials briefed on the plans stress that any mission would fall short of a full-scale invasion, instead relying on elite special forces and selected infantry units for limited, high-impact strikes. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has publicly insisted that Washington can achieve its military objectives against Iran without sending large numbers of American troops deep into Iranian territory. At the same time, the Trump administration has already deployed US Marines to the broader Middle East theater as the Iran war grinds into its 5th week, signaling that Washington is preparing for further escalation. In addition, the Pentagon has drawn up plans to send more than 1,000 soldiers from the US Army's 82nd Airborne Division to the region, bolstering rapid response capabilities if the crisis spirals.
Mr. Doctor, those couple of weeks, how seriously is the United States considering deploying ground troops? And in those couple of weeks, what exactly will
I won't discuss military tactics. I don't think anyone in our system is going to talk to you about what we have planned or what we intend to do, and there's obvious reasons for it. But to the extent it has to do with like military tactics and plans, I would refer you to the Department of War, and the Department of War is probably going to tell you they can't tell you anything. So other than to say that we have objectives, I told you what those objectives are, and we are very confident that we are on the verge of achieving them very, very soon.
The USS Tripoli, carrying around 3,500 US sailors and Marines, has now arrived in the Middle East, according to a report by CNN. US Central Command later confirmed on X that the troops aboard the USS Tripoli reached the region on March 28, formally marking their entry into the theater. This deployment is part of a broader American military buildup, as the Pentagon weighs its next steps in the escalating confrontation with Iran. Reports indicate that a full Marine Expeditionary Unit, or MEU, has been sent in with the Tripoli to significantly strengthen Washington's rapid response capability. These Marine units are purpose-built for high-intensity tasks, including emergency evacuations, precision raids, and ship-to-shore combat operations launched directly from the sea. Officials say their presence gives US commanders a wide range of military options on short notice, from limited strikes to contingency evacuations, depending on how the crisis unfolds. Reports say any US invasion of Iran would likely begin with a sweeping electronic warfare campaign to jam radar systems, followed by an intense wave of air and missile strikes. While the exact targets remain classified, speculation is growing that one of the primary objectives could be Kharg Island, a crucial node in Iran's oil export infrastructure. Analysts also point to Abu Musa and 2 smaller disputed Gulf islands, contested for years by the UAE, Iran, and even eyed by Israel, as possible targets in any opening phase. Keshem Island, which reportedly hosts a network of tunnels, drones and missile sites, is seen as the most difficult prize, heavily fortified and central to Iran's coastal defenses. Around 150,000 civilians live on Keshem, which sits just off the Iranian mainland near the port city of Bandar Abbas, raising major concerns about urban combat and collateral damage. In recent weeks, Iran has rerouted shipping through lanes hugging Keshem and nearby Larak Island, using them as a protective shield for vessels passing the Strait of Hormuz. Military experts warn that any attempt to seize these islands would expose landing forces to ferocious enemy fire from entrenched positions, coastal batteries, and air defenses. Troops could be inserted with heavy air support, helicopters, and amphibious craft, but such an operation would require continuous resupply and protection of beachheads and forward bases. Tehran has already warned Arab states not to assist any US offensive, with the IRGC threatening that countries like the UAE and Bahrain themselves could become targets for capture or retaliation. The IRGC has claimed that it targeted 6 US tactical vessels in the Persian Gulf in what it described as another major retaliatory operation in the widening conflict. According to Press TV, citing an IRGC statement on March 28, a large number of American forces were said to have been killed in the attack. The same statement said that 6 US landing craft utility, or LCU vessels, were struck during the operation, according to the report carried by Press TV. Public Relations Department of the IRGC said, and I quote, "In continuation of the 84th wave of Operation True Promise 4, the IRGC naval units conducted a hybrid operation against US and Israeli terrorists deployed in Al Shoyub port as well as Dubai's coasts and port, hitting downhearted American troops and their tactical hardware precisely. Given field reports, 3 of the combat vessels sank after the retaliatory strikes, whilst the rest are aflame. During the operation, a large number of American terrorists were killed, and tactical vessels sunk." Unquote. Press TV also reported that kamikaze drones were used in attacks against US drone unit personnel as part of the broader operation claimed by the IRGC. The spokesperson for the Iranian parliament also made a major claim about Kharg Island on March 28, portraying the strategic island as stable despite growing concerns over possible US action. Ibrahim Rizoi said that life has returned to normal in Kharg, according to reporting linked to Fars news agency and other Iranian media coverage. Rizoi added that Kharg Island is in complete security and said Iran's armed forces remain fully ready for any possible escalation around the island. He also warned that any aggression against Kharg Island would be met with a decisive and irreversible response, underscoring Tehran's attempt to deter any direct assault.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.